Toe Hendry has risen. Rekieta is still seething like a bitch. That was not my intent today. I mean, not like it's not like it's the most difficult thing in the world. But it started out with somebody super chatting us today and asking me about, like, what's up with his latest lies. And we had to bust his payroll lie. He's like, oh, yeah, you owe her so much money because she was getting notifications that they were trying to pay her and there were overdrafts or whatever. I'm like, no, first of all, if there were those, she wouldn't get those. Second of all, if you did get any information like that, you would have gotten it from my email, as she was not on the account. But he said, oh, yeah, he'd pay her after and it wouldn't go through. And there's no sensitive information on here. Here's the not on payroll ex-employees list over on QuickBooks. Just let me make sure and take a look. Oh, yeah, look at that. Last paycheck, April 1st, 2024. Processed it. Oh, isn't that weird? So I had to bust that lie today. And then there was another lie. He said he was seething about my divorce attorney being better than him. And he was seething about my divorce attorney doing a good job, which when the person who was giving legal advice to the other person is seething about how mad they are about the other attorney a year later, you know you cooked his ass good. Nick said, no, I wasn't her attorney. No, he's lying. I don't know. I looked through my texts with April, and all of her texts are, we think you should do this. Nick said you should do this. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you were supposed to tell her not to mention your name. She didn't get the memo, buddy. I'm sorry. And by the way, my attorney knew that you guys were working together. Like, it didn't take a genius to figure it out. She fucking told him that you guys were. So we had to bust that one up. And while I'm busting up that lie, and while he's going insane over it, we were like, well, Nick, there's no way you would know about anything QuickBooks or paycheck related unless you had access to my accounts. And he backtracked off of that real fast. No, she had a thing on her phone, and she didn't have a thing on her phone. I'm sorry. She did. Any business will tell you that they don't put a thing on their employee's phone. There was no thing. You got caught and you had to backtrack. So then he's still fighting against that. And so I said, well, if you must know, now this was a while ago. I said that I went to the police. I reported the access to my accounts. This was, December, November, something like that. And I said this a while ago. It must not have made the rounds. People didn't clip it, whatever. But I said a while ago, they update you when it gets sent somewhere. And when I went to Stearns County, they told me we've sent this to another county, and we sent it to the Minnesota Department of the FBI, the Minnesota office of the FBI. And those are the people who have it, because there's a lot of work they need to do. There's, from what they said, they go, this motherfucker sent this shit out to so many people that, our county can't handle that shit. So I said that a while ago, and that's nothing I can't say. That's not something they don't give me enough information for me to jeopardize anything. So they've had it. They've been looking into it. They've been looking into a bunch of different people. Some of them, I don't even know these people. But I mentioned that today, and people went, oh, my God, that's crazy. No way. And I'm like, well, I said a while ago that that was all I knew. That was it. So that's still going on. And then that starts making the rounds. People start talking about it. And then I get some DMs from Alyssa Clips. And Alyssa Clips, God bless her, she always asks for permission. She's like, hey, I'd like to put this out there. I'd like to confirm what you're saying. I have evidence of my own. I'd like to put it out there. Is that okay with you? She didn't have to ask. And I said, sure, absolutely. So Alyssa Clips sends me a couple comments from her video she posted today about the FBI thing. Stabby McStabwood, there, I'll read the name that I can't make up, commented, I will never stop laughing if Nick gets charged and convicted for this. Someone else wrote, NR is commenting on the Stalin 19 clip channel. He's so desperate. To which Alyssa then said, he can't comment on this topic here. Not that he really comments here anyway, because he knows it's his own fault, that I can say with 100% confidence he had some level of access to Aaron's email. She then posted that on her comment section. Kiwi Farms and Twitter start going crazy over it. Then she posts on Kiwi Farms later that day as they're asking for clarification. Nick sent me a DM seething about an email I'd sent a couple of days earlier to Aaron for his attorney. He absolutely had access. Also, Nick had tweeted things out that my lawyer and I had emailed about. He had referenced things that me and other attorneys had been talking about. So he was definitely in there doing that. And then she actually posted the receipt of the screenshot, or the receipt of the DM that Nick sent her. So on November 3rd, Alyssa had some screenshots that I wanted for what I was putting together. And she sent me those screenshots. So in November, I went to the police with the whole accessing my emails and files and backing it up and all of that. By the way, thank you to Patrick Melton, who said, oh, yeah, Nick sent me a whole drive and it was full of all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. We were able to get that. And we were able to make that a big part of our evidence package. So I appreciate him doing that, letting us know that that existed. So then Alyssa Clips screenshots my email from November 3rd, where we were exchanging screenshots and I needed some things from her. So then Nick is in my email. So he sees that stuff. He sees the emails that are being sent, and 4 days later sends Alyssa a DM and says, oh, Alyssa, so butthurt you sent our DMs to Aaron to hurt me. Why don't you send him your nudes like you did guys in my Discord? Make sure you take his money. Now, Alyssa never sent nudes in his Discord. She was busting someone else for that. He's so fucking wet-brained that he can't tell the difference. And look, we should be used to the guy lying to try to protect himself at this point. So Alyssa posts screenshots of that online, and that all went nuts today. So I would argue that I'm not even the one that made this stuff pop off today. I mentioned something. Well, naturally, it started with Nick running his big, stupid mouth about all the L's he's been posting. Honestly, if the guy would have kept his mouth shut, gotten offline, and just handled his fucking crumbling life that seems to be never-ending crumbles, and not obsess over me and missing my penis, none of this would have come out. It wouldn't have been nothing if he would have just kept, like everything else, wouldn't have been nothing if he'd have just kept his fucking sobbing mouth shut. But now Alyssa's posting the receipts. We just had to show the receipts that he's lying about the pay and the termination stuff. Still white knighting for the person who left him because he ran out of drugs for him. She was probably tired of getting yelled at about how she's freeloading and getting blamed for him missing tests. She was probably tired of the verbal abuse that he was giving her as she calls Keanu and cries about what a liar he is. Probably got tired of Nick verbally punished her so badly that it made Keanu turn and like me again. That's pretty rough. Uh-oh. $5 from Jane and John Doe says, hey, Patrick, did Nick tell you that he admitted your conspiracy to Alyssa clips before or after admitting to illicit distribution of confidential data? There was more. Look, you know, I know people want to try and pit those two against each other. There's no friendship there. Patrick's just using Nick for content because he's desperate. Watching Opie serve Patrick Melton was pretty nasty. Opie of all people. But I don't think you can blame one or the other. They both kind of burned themselves on that whole deal. I mean, there was so much evidence to just keep sending over. I mean, they wouldn't stop. It's like, you know, again, it's just,
why do they come to me to die? Why do they come to me to die?
It's like those two retards were handing it to me going, here, Aaron, don't forget this one. Here you go. Send that one to him. When they told me those three letters, F, B, and I went, Jesus fucking Christ. These people do not fuck around.